This is great. We are all together in the same room in 3 boxes or circles, whichever you prefer. And we're sitting here together, which is kind of amazing. We get together, obviously, at conferences and everything. But, gang, where are we? Where are we in the United States today?
Mile High City.
We're in Denver?
Well, not again.
But seriously,
show them your new shirt, our new shirts.
Look, guys, the BC3 Amigos. We are all together, all garbed up, and you'll see us more and more in our shirts when we do our recordings and go to conferences and stuff. Here in Denver, in the Mile High, the Marriott Tech Center 1, and we're doing Dynamicscon Live. It is the last day of the conference. It is wrapping up in a few hours. And basically, we wanted to get together, do a great podcast, give a big recap on Dynamicscon Live here, tell you what's coming up in the next couple of months, tell you what's happened in our community and stuff like that, and really just talk about things in general. So,
I got to do one thing. I got to do a shout out.
Oh,
really? Shout out.
Shout out?
I can speak. Yeah. Rob, our new MVP.
Hey.
Well,
Come on,
everybody.
Come on, guys.
Well, the sleeves.
Show your sleeve.
And the MVP sleeve. There we go.
Toast.
Toast to Rob. Cheers. Woo, we have a crisscrossing.
Yes.
Yes,
Kim.
Kim.
A great conference.
I couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you very much.
No problem. And
Bet.
Kim's got us pretty much trashed already, and it's pretty early in the morning here in Denver. She brought the mimosas, and she said, "Let's get started early."
Thank God the Mile High doesn't thin your blood.
I mean, not at all. You know,
Hey, it's the last day of the conference. We've been working hard.
we have been, gang.
I'm missed being a superstar or a superhero.
So let's go around the horn. What did we love about the conference? What do we want to see different next year?
God, the people, all the great people. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was like a mini summit. Sorry to reference them, but it was a mini summit. It was like when Summit was first growing up, and it was phenomenal. So.
Absolutely. The vibe, the people, the interactions, everybody's just been upbeat. Every session I've gone to has been very interactive, and that makes for great sessions.
I mean, it's probably amazing. Let's tell. So, give you some stats. They told us these stats on Monday at the general session. So, they had a little over 1,500 folks here. About 44% of that, about around 44 of that were users. Of the 44%, around 52-ish, I think it was somewhere in the 52% mark, were BC users.
Let's hear it for us.
Yeah.
So BC people were here in that community, you know, basically our users, our partners, our ISVs. So everybody was here. About, I think it was 200 or so sessions across all the products that they were here at the conference. And I believe somewhere in the vicinity of like 80-ish, I think we had 4 or 5 BC sessions going on at once, and in like 4 rooms at once. So we probably had 50, 60, somewhere in the vicinity of that 50, 60 sessions on BC alone. So pretty amazing here. A lot of content, amazing. Kim, what was what else was pretty amazing, I think, here?
It was the sessions. Every session I went into, and you go to a session to promote a speaker or just to be there because you know the people, like go to Rob's or go to yours, and yet the users ask such great questions, and then and even provide answers. I was in one where somebody told us we could use little emojis in the company information, and I was like, wait, what? So users are teaching the teachers things, right? So, and I love that. I just absolutely love it when users provide such great input.
And that's why these interactions in live sessions are so great, because people learn what other people in their same environment are doing. We go to these clients and they can be the same industry, and you can see that they do different things, different ways, and be like, go to the conferences and see what other people are doing, and like, hey, I learned something today about a better way to do my job. So that's great.
That last session we were in yesterday, there were 2 people from the same industry, chemical manufacturing, I believe, and they had similar questions. And we said, hey, guys, talk to each other. And I noticed after the session, they did. They were over there conversing and exchanging business cards, and now they have a connection with somebody who deals with the same problems. That's fantastic. That's priceless.
Yeah, for me, I think my number one at all conferences is always the same thing. It's the amount of education that both the speakers give to the users who take it away and go back and like, holy smokes, I cannot believe I can do this, or never knew about it, from either past education from whoever was implementing them or just over time. The new features that come out, because obviously we're in the month of May, the new release, wave 1 of 2024 or version 24 of BEC came out. So a lot of the new features that our speakers have been educating everybody about, all the new tools and bank rec of AI, obviously the new foreign currency, and to revalue your GL accounts, all of the new projects, or everybody who thinks what projects, and it was
projects formerly known as jobs.
There you go. It's formerly known. I can tell you, I feel like I should be like Prince or somebody like that. But we got superhero princes, our masks here. But I loved it. I mean, and then of course networking. How can you not have fun meeting all your friends that you meet a couple of times a year? We get together, we commiserate, we break bread, and of course we get drunk because Kim takes care.
Getting drunk.
Kim takes care of us because we have to speak later today anyway, this morning before it ends around noon lunchtime. But what do you think? Like, obviously, this conference, is here a mile high. I have a feeling we're going to be flying in our superhero capes and masks here. Where do you think we're going to go next year in 2025? What city should we go into for this conference, Dynamicscon Live?
Something with a lot of wind.
Well, with the growth, remember, they're going to have to go to a bigger city.
Yeah.
It's got to be big.
Very true.
So should we... Are we flying?
We're flying.
Are we giving a hint?
Yes, it's wind.
Are we telling people the hint?
Windy.
A windy city?
Getting it?
Anybody picking it up on it out there? I mean, come on, guys.
Tell us.
Where are we going?
Chicago?
Yeah.
Hey. So again, in May 2025, obviously Chicago, the Hyatt downtown. It's what they told us.
Nice.
Information will be on the websites, I'm sure, in a couple of months, so stay tuned.
Early bird registration's already out there, so
yeah, go out and look for that.
Don't miss it.
There's an early bird discount. Again, it should be a great group of people. Probably, if we're at 1,500 now, probably get to 2,000 easily, in a heartbeat next year. So certainly you'll see your speakers that you love listening to throughout the year. And of course, all the ISVs and partners who come here to help out and have the booths in the expo hall. So it should be a great time. This past year, they had a great party on day one, the full day one. They had a really great party. What did we do with our superhero money? I think they gave us superhero money.
Superhero money, and we got to gamble with it. Like I'm awful at that blackjack, but I won.
I stayed away from the gambling. I just was standing at the bar watching.
We didn't really win anything, and if it was money, man, I would be rich and I'd be off on vacation today.
You mean you wouldn't be here with us?
Yeah, I'd be on vacation, guys. Sorry.
Couple of great notes about Dynamicscon, and they do this every year. And I think for all three of us, we've been to this conference all 4 years now. We're in our fifth year next year. But they do it. They pick a local charity. They did the Ronald McDonald House to take care of children and stuff, and to go down that path. So that was really great to actually get that going. So that was really great. They had a great donation. They matched different donations. The owners of Dynamicscon Live matched people who made donations. They matched up to a certain amount of dollars. Sorry, we don't remember the amount, but it was really great. And I'm sure they made somewhere in the vicinity above $10,000, probably to $20,000, I'm sure. But we
had that local event also. Yes.
So
and people donated to go to that.
And that's a great event. And for partners out there who are watching us right now, this program takes people who are looking for a way to elevate themselves in the community. It teaches them all about Microsoft products, and then they graduate. They get this full course of Microsoft products, and they graduate from this Tech Fluent program. And they are now looking for jobs. And I've talked to a couple of people who were here, and I will tell you, they are great candidates. If you're looking to grow your staff, these are people who already know the products. You should reach out to the folks here at DCOM. live and say, hey, how do I get in touch with some of these people? And you can interview them, and hopefully you have some new staff soon.
That's great. That's great information.
That's really impressive. So obviously we had some great, a lot of good stuff that came out of Dynamics Online, a lot of different speakers who have been here. A lot of knowledge was gained, our networking, our friends. Again, we broke bread, as one would say. What else is going on in our community? I don't really know. What's coming down the line? It's almost summertime and Memorial Day. So what's coming up next for all of us?
Are we talking about road shows, or are we going to go all the way out to Summit?
I think we should go first to some road shows and get our people meeting us in some different cities coming up. So
Well, Chicago's the first one on the
We could kind of test out the whole
we passed out the Windy City already for next year. So in June, obviously, we have a road show coming up. So for those of you who are interested, certainly go to the website, Summit Roadshow. It's basically a little mini
You
taste.
guys are both going, right?
And
I am not from.
Oh,
I'm going to be there. I'll be in Chicago, everybody.
But there's one coming up in July in Seattle, and I probably will be going to that one.
Nice.
We're going up to the mothership up there. Oh, we're going back to the mothership, I see.
Yeah. And I'm supposed to be helping with this, but I only know that in September we have two events. We've got Days of Knowledge for the folks who want to get really deep dives, and then we also have at the end of the month we have DCI's Roadshow in Atlanta. So there's two events coming up in Atlanta, and we always are looking for ideas and presenters. So if you want to hear about a topic that you need some help on, send us a message, and we'll be happy to get that in the queue.
There's also the webinars that
Yep.
the user group, the BC user group puts on. And they're doing at least one a month. I think this month is something about sales tax.
I believe it is. And
Yeah.
I think Doug also has webinars. They come random in different months. If they, so Doug also has
channel. Yes.
Yeah, Doug also has a couple of webinars happening next month. I think next month, I'm doing one for them next month, early next month, as well as the fact they have a YouTube channel, which takes a lot of what they record and they populated a lot of their virtual conference, the virtual Dynamicscon conference. All that recording is there, so you can actually rerun things from different years. The BC Learn's phenomenal. I think all three of us, when we implement, we tell our customers, hey, go out and do BC Learn, because guess what? It's a marriage to Kronos, the Kronos sample database that Microsoft puts out. So you can follow along with the database and play along, as one would say. But I think one big takeaway, I think that really is been the running theme, I think, for the three of us at this conference, is the fact that, everybody came here to learn. I mean, this was like super education overload in 2.5 days, roughly, where everybody got to learn. They got to hear us all speak. The BC3 Amigos spoke at least, I think it was probably like 7 or 8 times, in different co-speaking events or Ask the Experts and all these things you see, as well as, of course, coming up in the other conferences coming up later this year, road shows and stuff. You'll probably see us speak. But yeah, it's been a blast. I cannot believe how many people have walked away with the amount of education and going back with tons of notes, tons of handouts and stuff like that from this event. But I mean,
Absolutely.
I don't know how can we top this? Is there anything we can do to top any of this? I mean, other than seeing the three of us, at all the road shows and trying to get together at conferences and stuff and meeting with us. I think, there is one thing, I think, maybe at Summit, maybe people can take a bite out of crime, from us. And, we'll leave that as a hint to people about, you have to go to Summit and understand what bite out of crime means. So we're going to leave that as a secret hint, and we want everybody to send us back some comments or send us some emails what they think bite out of crime means, and then we'll kind of talk about those on our next podcast next month, and we'll see how many comments we can say and repeat on this. But seriously, folks, I mean, it was an amazing event. We learned a lot here. We educated. I think we crossed I think every area of BC this year between the three of us. Let's see, we did
finance, assets, service,
Manufacturing,
supply chain. I think we covered everything. So, we really were here for our user base and also obviously our partners who come and learn in the sessions as well, and the ISVs. We had an amazing Ask the Experts session where all three of us were at different ones, and whether it be the MVP one that we attended or whether it be finance or manufacturing supply chain, and we got to answer tons of questions for our user base and as well as partners, because a lot of the Ask the Expert sessions have,
I know that's the great thing about that, the community and, the advice that people are taking and building their products, or Microsoft's building the products. So there's so much more automation in the system where those assists really help them get started on there. So
absolutely.
I'm impressed with things just point and click. Pretty soon we'll just be standing on wayside watching everybody do it. And, the other thing is we take your advice on, what we want to have presented. But, I have this one topic that I want to have, and I spoke to somebody here. This is where we also get the ideas or the people that we want to have speak at those national chapter meetings I'm talking about. And we're going to have somebody come in later on this year and talk about setting up your Connect to Power BI. So
Awesome.
So this is amazing. I mean, think about it. The 1099 thing just came out where you can communicate, upload to the IRS. So we haven't really seen that much of it. So that's pretty cool. Connecting to Power BI, we've never done a session, I think, a big session on that. So that's going to be pretty powerful considering how much integration Power BI is kind of coming to the BC world. So that's pretty amazing, and having them speak. I mean, think about some of the other things, that we haven't really learned. There's so much data or so much really information that comes out of a new wave that we just can't keep up with it. I mean, and you're right. That was a big question at one of our sessions that we were all at, where one of the people in the audience basically said, and there was about 8 or 9 of us up on stage giving advice back. How do we figure this all out? How do we keep up with it? And the funny part is, though some of the MVPs get to see it in a preview or ahead of time, we get to see some of it. And then some of us get to play with it the second we get it, so because all of our customers need to know what the new features are. But the big thing is those videos, the new YouTube videos that came out that Kim mentioned a little while ago. Go to the YouTube video. Microsoft put that out for a reason. It's self-education at your pace, and you can learn all the new features that come out in the waves. And go and watch those. They're really short. They maybe 5 minutes to 10 minutes tops. And you can run through all the new features probably in less than a few hours. You can have all the ones you want to understand get done functionally, because in this wave, obviously, there was a lot of AI that came out. There was obviously the new projects that came out and some of the new features there with service and projects. In wave 2, a lot of what they announced publicly is that they're going to still concentrate on AI. They're going to still work on some more jobs and project stuff, and some other small features that will come out, obviously, throughout the, obviously in wave 2 in October, November. So, I mean, this has been a great conference. I mean, how much more? I mean, I think
real quick on the YouTube videos, what's great about them is you can stop and start, right? So you can play along. Also, if you have any favorite blogs, right, check those out, because a lot of times the people who blog something about a feature. I know I did the Copilot in Bankrec, right? And so I did a lot of. I started with those videos, and then I tried to put together a sample how I did it, and I found some differences. And so some of those blogs will have some more tips and tricks for you. So those are 2 things just to comment on that.
I think it's going to be really great, because considering the amount of information we've learned here together, all 3 of us at the conference, the amount of information that's coming up in future roadshows, future meetups, and of course, the big conference in October in San Antonio Summit, all that education that's going to be hitting us. The new wave will be announced and it'll be out, available by the time the Summit conference rolls around. So there's so much hitting everybody. And for those folks who do watch us, and really, if you're really curious, we've always been asked this question. People ask us this while we're walking around conferences, or even find us somewhere at a roadshow or a meetup or wherever. How do we learn more, or how do we we're on GP, we want to go to BC. I mean, ask us. We have customers that we've moved from GP to BC. Or basically, if you're on another product and you're kind of curious and you're saying, what's this BC thing all about? Reach out. We can certainly tell you what other products we've moved, customers who've left Sage or other products that you moved into the BC world, or you're kind of curious and want to get another opinion. There's 3 of us up here. We can certainly tell you.
We might not agree.
Yeah.
I doubt we will agree.
I mean,
Or the add-ons, right?
Oh,
I want to do this. Or how about, some of the AP automation? That's a hot topic. And
that was one of the questions at one of our conferences, right? Somebody said, you have all these requirements, and all the add-ons that do so much for the BC software. How do you pick and choose? Which one do you do first, second, phase 1, phase 2? And they asked us all our personal opinions, and we gave them it on how we think about our add-ons and what should come first, second, and third. So I mean, we could sit here for the next 30 minutes talking about that, but we're not going to. Don't worry. You know how we can.
We can give you some feedback. I think that's the main thing.
Yes.
And so should your partner, right?
Yes.
Ask. Don't be afraid to ask. Challenge, right? Challenge the answers you're getting. It's your system, right?
And remember, you always have your sandbox. Do it in the sandbox first.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that was the running theme. I think everybody who said the word add-ons in our session or said do something, and it was like everybody, the last second after the mic was moving along, somebody yelled out, don't forget sandbox. Don't forget test. So, but, we've been talking now for a good 30 or so minutes here, and we're moving along. So one thing to note, I think let's let our audience really know what's coming up in some of our other, the road shows that are coming up and the meetups and, of course, Summit. So I think there's one, as for our road shows, we do about 4 to 5 sessions on BC at a road show. And of course, the other products, the meetups have, I think, roughly 5 to 6 sessions, I think, at a meetup in terms of the BC product. But
there's a big announcement, though.
I think as the BC3 Amigos and who we are, I think you should announce the big announcement, what we did for the BC community this year at Summit. I think that we should tell people.
Well, the agenda's out online, and there are over 100 speakers in 140 to 150 sessions, and they range from a 30-minute quick session to a full hour session to some deep dives of an hour and a half. There are about 80 companies speaking. It's a very diverse group. We're super excited about that. You won't hear Steve speak 10 times or Rob speak 9 times or me speak, more than once or twice. And that we are so excited about.
I actually get to go to other sessions. I love it.
I'm just so excited about that. We want to broaden the number of people and users. We want more users to speak. So if you haven't been to Summit as a user, come. You can get involved. And maybe you don't quite know if you want to speak.
Speak with any
with us. We'd like
favorite superhero. It's that you're involved at a much deeper level than we are. Sure, we know how the functionality works, but you know how you need it to work. And that's one of the things that I learned when I was on the user side was like, oh, wait a minute, they teach me this, but I'm going to do it this way. And so
you find what works best for your company, and that might be exactly what somebody else needs to hear.
That's the best part. I mean, think about it. Can you imagine in the, 14, almost I think we're on our 17th or some, it's just we had 19 years or something now. But as obviously we're getting to almost 2 decades of this conference. And over the years, it's grown obviously in its own pace, and then COVID happened. But all in all, you've seen these conferences. You come to hear your favorite speakers. You come to learn from your favorite speakers. You come to learn from such a diverse community of speakers. But this year, we basically took an initiative as from the committee that was part of looking at all the submissions, 485 submissions in the Business Central space, that we actually said, let's make sure that all the users who submitted speak, make sure our MVPs who are going to be wanting to submit speak, make sure that we have enough roundtables or, where you can meet many people and kind of get answers to all questions. But really the goal was to have most everybody who wanted to speak individually, who the track leaders chose to be the sessions of choice. But seriously, we've never had that many speakers.
Just a quick note on track leaders. There are 20-something people involved in choosing the speakers. And it's not just one person saying, I want this. There's a group for each track. So there's people in finance, people in manufacturing,
some projects,
everything, admin, development. They get together and they look at all the submissions related to that topic area and try to make sure you get, you don't get 5 sessions on just workflows.
I think this year was amazing.
And here's the thing I want to talk about on presentations too. So if you attend, feel free to engage with the speaker. And if you have a question, we're always, and I will tell you, whether Steve's presenting or Kim's presenting and I'm in their session giving some support, I don't feel that I should sit back and if they are ready to go on to the next topic and they've forgotten what I think or haven't planned to speak about something that's a key little note there, I'm going to pop in and say, hey, what about this piece? And I expect that same type of interaction in my session. So please feel free to ask if I've said something that you don't agree with, reach out.
Or you don't understand.
Or you don't understand.
Yes.
That's what it's about.
It does. And it makes the session better because if you have the question, somebody else in the room probably does too.
Very true. I mean, I think it's amazing that, if you take all the road shows, if you take all of our Dynamicscon Live, if you take that, Summit, in October, if you take all the meetups, if you take even the partner conference directions, I mean, you have to think if you added up every BC session at every one of those events, we could be close to 1,000 sessions theoretically when you really add this up. I mean, that's 1,000 educational sessions, and inclusive, and we didn't mention this, not only do we have all these great speakers, MVPs, partners, ISVs, and everybody speaking at these conferences. Microsoft will also.
Yeah, Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft will come, and certainly they'll be at different events that they can come to, and certainly they have always come to. Obviously, they'll be at Summit North America. I'm sure they'll bring an immense group of people to that event. To obviously meet and greet for the BC people who we, of course, talk about a lot as our BC family. So you see them there, meet them there, and, of course, they'll speak there as well. So,
you're talking about the events where there's live speakers, but there's so much information with webinars and blogs and podcasts.
It's true.
There's a lot of information. I know when I started, there was Zippo that you could find, and now the world's at your fingertips. So don't be shy about trying to find information or asking questions to people. Really, that's what we totally enjoy.
I obviously you see our theme here. We still have our masks on. We're not totally drunk we can't fly. We've been declared, grounded because of our alcohol intake that Kim has given us. But but seriously, folks, I mean, we wanted to do this event here because obviously it's the last day at Dynamicscon Live. It's been a super event. Doug puts on an amazing event, great education, great fun, great people. Obviously, we'll see you in the Windy City in 2025 in May at Dynamicscon Live 2025. Hopefully we'll see you there. Some great speakers and people will be there and users. So we'll see you there. We'll see you at all the
coming.
Yeah.
I think it's well worth the cost.
It's well worth the cost. The education alone is amazing. To come back with all of this and get yourself kickstarted into the next phase of the summer to take all that education and change, involve your company, involve more people and stuff like that. So I think it's an amazing thing. But from us, obviously, here, we will see you on the road. We will see you at the next road show, the next meetup. We'll see you at Summit North America.
See you down in San Antonio.
Yeah, come down to San Antonio. There's a couple of wild things happening. Of course, we told you about Take a Bite Out of Crime. I think you'll see us all somewhere else, but I think that one will hold for another day when it's out there in the community and it's publicly announced. There's some great things happening overseas. Actually, Directions Asia is occurring right now in Bangkok. And there's some beautiful things they're announcing over there. So we'll wait for those public announcements. But all in all, I think it's been a great event. I think we've had fun together here. I think being here with my my 2 Texas friends here, and a bottle of Prosecco. I could move.
Yeah. Should we live in Texas?
We should.
I mean, I think most people know me, I don't know. Well, I mean, I do have black eyes.
We were at the bar last night.
Yeah.
But, there's that Texas hater over there.
Yeah, they called me a Texas hater. I think it was because my mask was on. They didn't really know it was me. But seriously, folks, we had a great time here. We want to thank you for listening to us. Hope next month's podcast will be certainly we'll pick a topic that's pretty much hot and running in our community today. Maybe there's something.
Well, on-prem versus in the cloud.
That's a good one.
Oh, we heard a lot about that here.
A lot of questions about
about staying on-prem. What's the pros and cons? Or do you basically host your on-prem or not, or bring it in-house, and the pros and cons of that? But I think maybe that's our next month's topic. I like it. Yeah. All right, we got one for next month. Certainly in the month of July, we'll have hopefully another guest. We're kind of pontificating over, should we bring a great guest on, either from our partner community who certainly does podcasts, or they're out there, or ISP community, or maybe we can see if we can find somebody from Microsoft to kind of join us on a nice hot topic that's really taking up a big piece of the pie, I think, in the BC community lately. So maybe we'll reach out to one of our friends and we'll have them fly in with their superhero mask and join us on our BC3 Amigo podcast. We'll have a fourth Amigos circle, as you saw when we had Brad and Chris last month. So
awesome.
I think that's it, guys.
Celebrate International Mimosa Day. Don't forget.
All right, guys.
Adios.
Adios.